Thank you for tuning in, coming live from Paris Blockchain Week. This entire week we'll be talking with key opinion leaders and the most interesting founders. Here I have with me Aydin, right, from Hive Technologies.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you bet.
Now, can you tell us something about your company first? You started in 2017, right?
Yeah, Hive is actually the first public crypto mining company ever. Hive went public in 2017 and reached $1 billion market cap within its first few months of going public. It was public in Canada on the TSXV, then it went public on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, and in 2021 it went public on NASDAQ in the US. So we're listed on 3 exchanges globally, and we have international operations. We actually started as an Ethereum miner in Iceland, then we expanded to Sweden, then we expanded to Canada, and now we expanded into Paraguay. So our focus has shifted from Ethereum mining. After the merge, we got into Bitcoin mining. But what we did is we took the GPUs from mining Ethereum, which were NVIDIA GPUs, and we got into high performance computing. So now we're also an AI cloud provider. In fact, we're an NVIDIA cloud partner. So today we have 2 business units, Bitcoin mining with green energy, and we also are an NVIDIA cloud partner building GPU clouds for AI compute.
Wow. So how did this happen? Because you definitely pivoted from how you started in the beginning.
Yeah.
Where you are now, right? So
it's a story of resilience and innovation. I mean, crypto mining is implicitly very volatile. So we've mastered Bitcoin mining at Hive. We really look at Bitcoin mining like a physics equation. When do you deploy capital? How quickly can you ROI on your investment? And how do you pay that forward so you can keep growing your HODL, right? Because ultimately the end point of mining Bitcoin is to accumulate Bitcoin below the cost of just buying it, right? Otherwise, what's the point of going through all that trouble? Now, we're very good at it. And so having that discipline and that expertise in the mining industry, we know about data centers, we know about power markets, and of course, we know about hash rate economics. And when you understand hash rate economics, you understand a very powerful principle, and it's this. Your dollar per kilowatt hour revenue, whether you're mining Ethereum or mining Bitcoin or even doing AI compute with GPUs, is all denominated in dollars per joule of energy, or as we may say, dollar per kilowatt hour. Now, here's why that's a very powerful ratio. Because on the cost side of any data center, your power bill is in dollars per kilowatt hour, right? Even if you're paying a co-location fee for any data center, it still works out to dollars per kilowatt hour. So what we do is we denominate all of our revenue in our earnings. So I'm going to give you an example. Right now, Bitcoin mining, depending on the model of ASIC that you have, pays you something like 10 cents a kilowatt hour. AI compute, on the other hand, pays you $2 a kilowatt hour. It's 20x. However, the GPUs for AI also cost about 30x what Bitcoin miners do, right? So it's interesting because when you roll it all up and you do the math, you both get about a 2-year ROI on GPUs from doing AI compute. And with crypto mining, you get under a 2-year ROI if you do it right. In fact, we announced a massive expansion into Paraguay, 300 megawatts of growth with green energy in Paraguay, where we're building under construction now. Our first 100 megawatts just went live. And over the next 6 months, from now, April, until October of this year, we're going to be bringing on 18 exahash in Paraguay. Today, we're at 6 exahash, 6.5 exahash between Sweden and Canada for a combined total of 25 exahash by October of this year. It's a very exciting thing. And when you mine Bitcoin and you can buy your ASICs, because the price of ASICs moves with the market, when you can get your ASICs for a good price, you can get an ROI even under 1 year if you do it right. And so we lead the industry in having the best ROI on our investments in Bitcoin mining. And now we're parlaying that as an AI cloud provider as well.
okay. So is this for everybody?
I would say that Bitcoin mining is not for the faint of heart. You need a lot of different levels of expertise. You need guys that understand electrical engineering. You need guys that understand data center. You need network technicians. It's very important. We manage over 50,000 ASICs globally. And in 6 months from now, we're going to be managing almost 120,000 ASICs globally. So how do you manage 120,000 servers in real time, being able to repair them if they crash or go down? So you need to have really great networking. Our CTO has done a phenomenal job. We have our own custom software. that manages all of our ASIC servers globally. And it's very much an industrialized, high capex business now. To put this into context, to get to 25 exahash is over $200 million of ASICs, right? So it's very capital intensive business, but it's well suited for public companies, right? Because you get growth capital, and if you can ROI on that in less than a year, then for the rest of the, say, 3 to 4 years that these ASICs have an economic life cycle, you're free cash flowing, printing money, right? And so it's very good for public companies for crypto mining. That's one piece. Now, on the AI side of things, there's even more levels of expertise because you have to understand the performance of a GPU. Now, how do you quantify performance of a GPU for AI? I'm going to share it with you. This isn't often talked about. And I'm going to give you a really simple comparison. In Bitcoin mining, when you buy an ASIC, there's two primary parameters. You look at the terahash, right, which is the hash rate of the machine, and then you look at the joules per terahash, which is the efficiency. In AI, when you look at a GPU, you look at the teraflops. And the teraflops is how quick it does a floating point operation. And that equates to effectively how many tokens per second a large language model can compute using a certain GPU. The other important thing is the memory. And so you have something called VRAM. And for example, an H100 from NVIDIA has 80 gigabytes of VRAM. And then the third thing for AI is a memory bandwidth. How quickly can you move information on and off the GPU chip? Because when you're doing AI, it's not just a GPU. You have 8 GPUs in one server, and one server is connected to many other servers in a rack. So think about a series of islands that are all interconnected. And so it's moving that information very quickly between GPUs as it processes. So it's synthesized like a human brain almost, right? So it's not for everybody because there's a lot of stuff there when you're doing that level of AI compute.
Indeed, because I was thinking, I as an average Joe, let's say I have $1,000. Can I also do business with you guys?
I think the best thing is to figure out how AI can benefit you, right? So there's so many powerful AI tools now. NVIDIA has actually just launched their own AI enterprise software. So if you go to builder.nvidia.com, you could see they have new agents. So they have tools that anyone can use and log on. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. It's more for understanding how these AI tools can empower you personally. Now, if you have a business where you might want to work with a company like Hive is if you want your own private cloud. If you want to own your data, what you want is an open source AI model that you can run on a GPU cluster that is for your use only. And that is the future of enterprise AI, what we call sovereign AI, where you want to own your data. So the difference is this. When you use ChatGPT, everything that you upload goes into OpenAI servers and it lives there and they absorb all your information. It's kind of like uploading a photo to Facebook in 2012. It's going to be there forever. 10 years later, all your photos of you partying in college are on Facebook, right? Now, think about all this stuff you're asking ChatGPT. It's going to be there forever. But if you want to have your own data, you can get a cluster of GPUs, have your own private cloud. You have root access to those GPUs. You can install whatever own language model, open source language model that you want. And then you can fine tune that language model so only you can access it. And that's the future of enterprise AI. So for an individual, I think it's fine to play. There's so many great tools, right? There's a lot of great open source models. NVIDIA just opened one called Nemotron, which is an open source model trained on Llama 3. These are a lot of technical buzzwords, but it's good education. If you're not sure about anything I'm talking about, just Google it. Google NVIDIA Nemotron. Go to builder.nvidia.com. Go to buzzhpc.ai. That's our new AI spinout.
Because that was my next question. So how do you abstract complexity for the average Joe, actually, if they want to understand what your company is doing?
So I think our website, buzzhpc.ai, explains a lot of our AI strategy. And of course, going to hivedigitaltechnologies.com will explain our Bitcoin mining. And what the commonality is that they're both data center businesses, right? However, they're different data centers. So for example, in Sweden, we Bitcoin mine in the north, in Boden. It's by the Arctic Circle. Our GPUs that are doing AI are in Stockholm, which is in the south of the country, right? In Quebec, we have a Bitcoin mine in the town of Lachute. Our AI GPUs are in downtown Montreal. So they're about an hour away, physically different data centers, right? Paraguay is all about Bitcoin mining. So I would suggest, check out Hive Digital Tech on Twitter, right? We're always posting updates. Check out our website and our LinkedIn as well.
Final question. Seeing AI, the rise of AI and quantum computing, you already mentioned you guys are busy with AI as well. What do you think, what do you see would be the biggest challenge for the coming 6 months?
Well, I think there's a constantly evolving technology curve. So NVIDIA's just released a Blackwell GPU. And so companies like Hive will build Blackwell clouds. And so there's a technical challenge of bringing those on, figuring out the drivers and the complexity associated with that. But once you've got them on, people will advance model training or running inference. And so it's really going to be for the betterment. I think it's really every time NVIDIA releases a new technological platform, before it was the H100, now it's the B200, and their future is going to be called the Rubin, R-U-B-I-N. They're all named after famous scientists. Yeah. And so it'll just be built, like we build the data centers for that. So it's really just building the infrastructure around the next generation GPUs. That's complexity. But I want to come back to a previous question you had. You said, if you had $1,000, what would we do? I'm going to tell you, I'd say you can buy some Hive stock. That's not investment advice, but what I could tell you is this. We have, as of March 31st, over 2,200 Bitcoin on our balance sheet, and our market cap is only about 280 million. So you're getting over 75 cents for every dollar you invest of Hive stock is backed by Bitcoin. And we have growth this year to get from 6 exahash to 25 exahash. So we have 4x growth. We have the most growth of any Bitcoin mining company this year. 2025 is a year of Hive. We've been carefully scouring the globe for green energy, and we found it in Paraguay. And so we just check out our investor section of our website for all the press releases. But it's going to be a great year. I think our stock is a great buy right now. I think we're trading at a discount compared to our peers. I believe the smart money, the institutional investors, are looking at Hive as a crypto mining stock with the best upside. A lot of our peers in the space are greatly overvalued. We're trading at a very attractive multiple.
Oh, it sounds really interesting. So, okay, I still have one question though. Well, I've listened to how you guys expanded throughout the world, right? Quite. As a founder myself, I know that execution is very important. So, how did you manage to, expand that in that way and be like the first public traded mining company?
The answer is very carefully. So actually our executive chairman, Frank Holmes, is a co-founder of Hive. And so he wanted to do an ETF business for Bitcoin back in 2017, but it didn't exist. So how do you have exposure to Bitcoin or Ethereum as an asset class? And it was crypto mining. So crypto mining stocks were the first basically institutional asset class, a publicly traded stock that gave you direct exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum as an asset class. And through the evolution, you have the bull market, which usually comes every year after the halving. So 2025, we anticipate a bull run. I mean, look, we saw Bitcoin at 108,000 US for the first time ever after Trump's election in 2024. The halving was last May. And before that, the previous halving was in 2020. So 2020, 2024 is the halving. The bull market came in 2021, and now we expect 2025. So it's actually about expanding in the bear market when prices of ASICs are cheap and all the sites are available because no one has cash, and you have to have a good treasury management system, and then you install and build, and then when the bull market comes, that's when you make your returns on your investment many times over. And that's kind of the secret to crypto mining. It requires discipline though. Easy said, hard to do.
Yeah, it requires no feelings at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Aydin. It was a pleasure. Thank you, man. Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you, Tristan.
So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the interview. If you want to know, if you like the video and want to know more about it, come check on our website www.bitcoinmagazine.nl and share the video if you liked it. Thanks for tuning in.